Stressful.
So stressed out.
What it like?
Maybe I do need a glass of wine for this one.
Put on a mask to give yourself a fun look. Been there, done that. I don't need to look like a minion. I really don't.
I like the astronaut one.
The astronaut was good.
Really cute. You happen to look really cute in that
Is
one.
this working better? We have 200 people now.
Yeah, there you go. See? That was better.
Facebook.
That was crazy.
Why do you hate us so much,
crazy.
Facebook?
Yeah, something. See, it's working for me now. Okay, so definitely something.
It's the mentions app. Something's wrong with mentions.
Oh, you were in mentions?
I was in mentions.
Yeah.
I always use mentions.
I stopped using it because I had problems with it.
Oh, man.
10
All
times
right.
better.
Well,
right.
here we go.
We'll start over.
Hi,
here.
everyone.
Hi.
It's me, Shari Criso.
We're back. Yeah.
What an ordeal.
That was an ordeal. I'm
What
glad
an
you started over again, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Now
Everybody's
it works for people. That's what we want.
Let's see some hearts. Yeah, we're here. At least we came back.
So Alicia just said your watching count is dropping. Yes. Now the reason it does that is because Facebook always shoots it out right in the beginning, and then it does drop. So that's normal. What happened the first time? Facebook happened. Yep. Facebook happened.
There's several apps you can use to go on Facebook, and sometimes some apps get glitchy at times.
And like we both are verified, so we're supposed to use the mentions app that only verified
Which
people
I never
have.
do because
I use every now and then.
Yeah.
But for live, the past few times, it's just been weird as, and it's not any good.
It needs like an update or something.
It needs well, I update it every day.
I mean they need to do like an update on it. Something's not right with the app.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. But we're back. We're here in Austin, Texas.
Hi everyone.
So we'll go a little bit longer than half an hour.
Yeah.
Now, just that
nobody saw it.
No, people saw
There
it.
was a few people.
But nobody could watch. The video will still be there. There's really good information on it.
Yeah, go back and watch it.
So make sure you go back and watch it. Yeah, we're still giving a pump away. I'll have to pick that. Hooray. But
this is our second month in a row we're sitting next to each other.
I know, and that doesn't happen. It's not happening this year at all.
It hardly ever happens anymore.
Yeah.
I miss you. I'm glad I'm here.
And the thing is, like, I've actually gotten to see you quite a bit.
I know.
But we've not had time to live stream and do stuff.
No.
So.
But we get to hang out.
Just like we do in Austin. Today we had Margs.
It was great. Oh, I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we fell asleep.
My friend Rochelle is here. Rochelle and I were on tour with the best little whorehouse in Texas. 12 years ago, was it? 13 years ago now? Because old. So this is fun because it actually shows me when my friends.
Oh yeah.
It's different. Meredith Padalino. Meredith and I went to college together. This is hysterical. It's like, oh, hi friends, logging on to watch me talk about colostrum. Who knows? So we're just going to answer some questions. I'll go back to some questions now. And if you have any questions, leave them. Live your life. Let me see here. Oh, I read that one last time. The infamous, I'm not getting enough milk, and I'm eating booby cookie. Booby cookie. What can I do? We answered that last time. Heather has a question. Hi, Shari. I have a question. This might be a silly question, but ellipsis. Do you have to eat 100% healthy, or is it okay to eat whatever so the baby gets a taste of different food?
Well, let's say this. If you want to be healthy for yourself, then you want to eat healthy. You are what you eat, okay? Now, that being said...
If that's true, today I would be a bag of Justin's dark chocolate peanut butter cups because I ate an entire bag last night before I went to bed.
That's true.
You are ate every single one of them. And if I have to live my life as a Justin's dark chocolate peanut butter cup, then I am fine with that.
So you know what? That's fine for you. And the truth is that what you eat is not going to really impact the quality of your milk supply or your milk. Okay, so I don't know exactly what you're asking is, do I need to eat healthy for my milk to be healthy? The answer is no. Whatever you eat, your body is still going to make perfect milk for your baby. And so it's one of the biggest myths that we always talk about is that I have to eat perfectly in order to make good milk, and that's just not true. Eating healthy is definitely going to keep you healthier. And the other part of what she asked there was flavors. So, you know, you can eat real healthy and still mix up the flavors, have more flavors, more spices, all those things that people talk about not including in their diet, somehow that you shouldn't be doing that when you're breastfeeding. Completely untrue. In fact, eat flavorful foods, eat all different foods, use variety, eat cultural foods, foods that you normally eat. That's how babies get the taste.
Yeah.
You know, your baby has a lot of taste buds that are developing at that point. And the milk takes on the flavors of the foods that you eat. And so when you eat spices or different flavors, your baby's going to actually taste that, and then they have a better, more developed palate moving forward in their life. Even when they're in utero, the amniotic fluid tastes like foods that you eat. So the baby is being introduced to different flavors and foods from the very beginning. And so eating a variety of foods is really, really important. However, eating really healthy foods is not going to make your milk healthier. Just like eating fattier foods is not going to increase the fat quantity of your milk. The types of fats, though, can actually be impacted into the milk, which is something that we haven't really talked much about. But eating good fats actually puts those good fats into your milk. It doesn't make your milk fattier, but it does, like the omega-3s, it will actually transfer into the milk. So eating better and healthier fats is a good idea. And other than that, you know, your body's going to produce what it needs to produce.
And also, no one is saying just eat shit all day.
Yeah,
and your milk
exactly.
will be fine.
Well, I'm definitely saying that. You know,
it's not like eat garbage, eat garbage, eat garbage. But you have to look in other countries where dietary restrictions are very different in third world countries. Food supply is very different. Their milk is still good.
Yep.
You know, your body will produce.
Yep.
So it's not like sit here and eat Haribo gummy bears all day, which I also do. But it is, you know, food begets milk.
Yep.
So
yeah, you know, it's one of the myths, because I'll hear moms say this, or they're told your diet's not healthy enough, so you really shouldn't be breastfeeding. And that's just completely untrue. Your body will break down the perfect amounts of fats and proteins and carbohydrates and all the different ingredients that it needs to make milk. It'll break down your body in order to produce that. And so it's going to go to the baby first through your milk, and you're the one that's really going to suffer if you don't eat healthy. But that's not going to impact the way that you nourish your baby. And even more so, you want to be breastfeeding.
Yeah. Somebody said Black Forest organic gummy bears are far better than Haribo. Yes, they're delicious, but Haribo is still my favorite. Haribo or my jam. Shari.
Yeah.
Kathleen has a question.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you knew of any tips on how to combat swollen sore nipples. As you are aware, this can be a problem when cluster feeding within the first few days of baby's arrival. It makes the experience of breastfeeding really uncomfortable. Your help and advice is appreciated. Thanks.
Yeah.
I like it when people leave a thanks.
I do too.
Not enough people leave a thanks,
you know,
or please.
It's really if you're gonna ask the questions and you want an answer, like I just think it's really nice. It makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know what you're saying. Swollen sore nipples. You know that your body is adjusting to something that it's never done before. And so that kind of intense sucking in those first few days and those first few weeks of nursing your baby can definitely make you sore, even with the most perfect latch. So anyone who's out there who says, you know, if you have a good latch, you're not going to be sore. Sometimes you're just sore anyway, even with a perfect latch. But you don't want that to be the reason. So make sure that someone is evaluating your latch. Make sure that your latch is not too shallow. We talk about this all the time, that it's not nipple feeding, it's breastfeeding, which means that your baby needs to have a nice wide mouth. The nipple is going far back.
That good tissue.
Yeah, definitely. So the baby's...
I don't know why I was just squeezing myself.
That's okay.
Oh, man.
It's your empathy.
Oh, I'm an empathetic human.
Empathetic human.
I'm very empathetic.
You are. I know. That's why they love you. That's why I love you. Oh. Okay, so making sure that you have a nice deep latch, that the baby's mouth is wide open. Simple little things, like little adjustments to the latch can make a huge difference. One being, if the baby's lips are turned in. Okay, this kills.
Oh, no.
You know, little, like the lip turned inward versus flanged outward, you'll have pinching and soreness of the nipple. You know, it'll hurt. You can actually, when the baby's latched on, just take a look at the baby's lips. Make sure the lips are flanged out like a fish. And if they're not, don't remove the baby. Just kind of pull a little bit so that the lip starts to come out and then they're flanged. Hold the baby closer to your breast. So many people worry about people worry about suffocating their baby. Okay, this is a big one. They try to hold the baby far away so the baby can breathe because they're so afraid that they're going to suffocate.
They're going to grab his neck.
Exactly. So the baby needs to be held really, really close to the breast when they're nursing. And the way to do that is to make sure that the baby's head is slightly angled up. When the baby's head is angled up, you can really pull them in close where their chin is really buried, but their nose still has room to breathe. Yeah. And if you look at a newborn, you'll see that babies are born with flat noses. Their noses are flat. And when they're born like that, it's because they're made to breastfeed. They're made to be pushed up against the breast where there's still an airway, okay, for them to breathe. They develop that way. So if you ever feel like you have to, and everyone does this, a lot of people do this, if you feel like you have to push down on the breast tissue to keep it away from your baby's nose so they can breathe, your latch is wrong. Your latch is wrong.
Huh.
Okay, so it's right there. If you feel like the baby cannot breathe if you don't hold the tissue down, your latch is wrong. Even with the largest breasts, if the baby's held in the right position and the head is angled, and I talk about this in my breastfeeding class, Simply Breastfeeding is my online breastfeeding class. It's actually included with the Evenflo Feeding pumps. So when you get the pumps, you get my full-length classes, Simply Breastfeeding and Breast Pumps and Briefcases. But you can also get it on my website as well. And when I go over the whole chapter on positioning your baby properly, one of the things I talk about, and I made this up, okay, it's when the baby is latched to the breast, you're holding your breast with your other hand, especially in the beginning. I talk about eyes looking at the elbow. Eyes looking at the elbow. And what I mean by that is that the baby's on, your hand is under your breast, and you can't always see your baby's mouth and nose, but you can see their eyes. And if their eyes are looking straight at your breast, their chin is tucked in.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, but if their eyes are looking at your elbow, you can keep pulling in as much as possible till the pain stops. Okay, pull them in really tight. As long as their eyes are looking at your elbow, you're not going to suffocate the baby.
And I think what a lot of people don't realize is this is a try at home right now.
Yep.
Drop your chin to your chest and try to swallow.
You can't do it.
It hurts.
Yep.
And it's the same in like putting a baby in a car seat. Like you don't want this chin to chest because you can't breathe, and you want to like make sure their head is turned a little bit and their head is up in a car seat. So it's the same with latch.
Latching,
you can't eat like this.
Head positioning is as important as body positioning. So when a baby, just basics here, when a baby is latched to the breast, you want their whole body facing you. You don't want their head turned. So their head, shoulders, and hips are all in a straight line, and the whole baby is facing you. When they talk about belly to belly, you'll hear this term, belly to belly. What they're really talking about is the baby's belly is completely facing your body. So the baby's not turning its head and trying to nurse in this position. Completely turning the baby, keeping their body as aligned as possible so the baby's not sinking this way. And sometimes the pillows that you'll see, like these breastfeeding pillows that are moving, like pushing away from you, and it's causing like a hole, the baby's sinking into it. You need that baby brought way up to the breast level on a real nice surface. bringing it close, and then the last thing is that chin needs to be slight. I'm gonna do it from this position here. It's just a little angle like this versus down like that. Like Jamie said, when their head is down, they can't swallow.
Yeah.
When their head is down, their noses are buried. They can't breathe, so they'll keep letting go. When their head is down, they're leading with their upper jaw versus their tongue and their lower jaw. And so there you're gonna feel pain. That hard palate is rubbing against now the nipple. You need their tongue. The tongue is what creates the vacuum and the suction, and you need the tongue to lead.
It has to come forward, yeah.
Has to lead.
It's just like when you sing, your tongue has to come forward.
Yeah.
There you go. Somebody asked about specific breastfeeding pillows.
Yeah, I do like the My Breast Friend pillow. I'm seeing that here, Stephanie. What I like is pillows. This is for the beginning. I'm talking about like newborns, like in the hospital from the first day. I do like a very firm pillow that can be brought up to breast level. And this is, again, in my program, I talk about it, how to position the baby, how to get the best latch. You want to prevent your nipples from getting sore. You want to get as much milk transferred as possible, and you want to get that colostrum into the baby. And so having the baby up at breast level is going to create the easiest latch. Newborns they're so tiny. You know, their mouths are small, they're tiny. They cannot just come to the breast and do it themselves. You literally have to put them on. The only thing your newborn can do is suck. It's the reflex. So you've actually got to position them right, and then they'll do the rest once they're on. But they're not going to just bring their head to the breast in the right position. And sometimes I'll see new moms, I'll work with new moms, and they're holding the baby, like almost expecting the baby to like do it. And I'm like, no, like you actually have to pull the baby on and bring the baby to the breast. And then once the baby's on, you actually have to hold them there, because they don't even know what to do. Yeah. So, sucking is a reflex, and it's really the only thing they're going to be able to do for you.
Yeah, bring the pillow to the hospital.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd say, like, I love my breast friend. Mm-hmm. Like, when I worked at Bye Bye Baby, I actually used to wear it because I stood on the floor all day. Yeah. And I used to wear this breastfeeding pillow because it has this back support on it. That's awesome. Yeah. And I used to tighten it up real tight. Yeah. And I just used to walk around and use it as like an arm prop while I talk to people because I'm weird. Yeah. And it was just comfortable. It's a great pillow. Yeah. My sister also, obviously used a lot of different pillows, and she really liked the Bebe Olay has a really good one, and it's dual-sided. It's firmer and softer. Yep. Because a lot of it also depends on your torso height. Yep. So not every pillow fits every person.
And it's not also not every pillow is great through the entire breastfeeding experience. So like My Breast Friend, I think I love it for the hospital and for that like first 6 to 8 weeks, or even sometimes longer. But as the baby starts to get older, I feel like there are other pillows that are easier for positioning. Yeah. So it may not be one pillow that lasts you the whole time, but I do think that having that firm surface, one that stays on so it actually connects, because if you think about it, if you're by yourself and now you've got the baby and you need to try to position the pillow, what I love about the My Breast Friend is you could click it on, you can kind of get it on, like Jamie said, you can walk around with it, and then pick up the baby and you're in perfect positioning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that pillow.
The Ergo pillow was pretty good too. What I would do with the Ergo, if you have the Ergo one, is flip it over as well in the beginning. I was looking at it, we were at JPMA. And the only thing about it was that it needed a firmer surface, but when you turn it over, it has it. So, I like that too. Huh. A good breastfeeding pillow is going to be really, really important for getting good positioning in the beginning. I don't know. Lots of people talk about using bed pillows. I feel like they're kind of soft.
Rochelle.
What?
Best thing I did was bring my breastfeeding pillow with me to the hospital, and then I sat on it on the drive home. Lifesaver.
There you go. That is a lifesaver. Like a donut.
Donut pillows are very good. I took my baby to WIC today, and they are really pushing the baby cereal. Mm-hmm. I told them we have tried vegetables and nothing else. They insisted she needs the cereal for the iron. Mm-hmm. I told them it has no nutritional value and asked, shouldn't she be getting iron from my milk? Mm-hmm. They did not test her iron. She is almost 7 months old and exclusively breastfed. Do I need to give her baby cereal? Oh crap, I just lost it.
It's okay, I know the question.
Yeah, They did test my iron and said it was great. Should I have her iron tested?
Okay. All right, so here's another big misconception when it comes to breastfed babies and iron supplementation. Sometimes the recommendations are like across the board, like babies need iron, you know, like there's and it comes from a misunderstanding of how breastfed babies actually react to the iron that's in breast milk. There's less iron in breast milk than there is in formula, so there's some idea that the baby's going to need supplementation because there's less iron. That's so untrue. So first of all, your baby gets the majority of its stores of iron during that last trimester of pregnancy from you. So they're getting all the iron that they need right there during the pregnancy that's meant to last them for at least the first 6 to 9 months of their life. All right, so if you're not like severely anemic during the pregnancy, you know, with some rare exceptions, your baby's gonna get the iron stores that they need during the last trimester, and also from delayed cord clamping as well, is going to help to give that extra boost of iron. So there we go for some delayed cord clamping, some totally
delay it.
Definitely delay it. It definitely helps to give them that extra iron that will last them. The other part of that too is that although breast milk has less iron in it, the iron, the type of iron that it has is way more easily absorbed than what's in infant formula.
Yeah.
So your baby's using it and they don't need extra iron supplementation. In fact, it's not even benign to give them the extra iron. People think, well, might as well just give them some extra. A little more is better than none. It actually can have a negative effect by giving iron supplementation to a breastfed baby. It can compete for the iron that they're actually using. So it can have a negative impact on their on the iron that they're getting from the breast milk.
So it could make the natural
exactly
iron
it competes
insoluble.
For the yep. And then the other part of it is that the iron that they're getting from the pregnancy, or that they get from breast milk, is only able to be used by the baby, whereas other iron is used by pathogens and other things that the baby may be carrying in their body, like infections, bacteria. Okay, when you give extra iron supplementation, that can actually bind to the bacteria that the baby has in them and can make them sick. So you don't want to give extra iron. It's really important. And so and then if you're going to give iron, you're not going to do it till after they're at least 6 or 7 months old, even a little bit longer. And cereal's not the best thing. I just don't really believe in feeding your baby cereal. This iron fortified cereal. There are so many good foods that are high in iron. You can Google it, look it up, but there are lots of really good healthy foods that you can start to feed your baby after 6, 7, 8 months old that will help to maintain their iron stores at that point, and they should be eating. And this is one of the reasons why, you know, when people talk about you know, food before, what's the term?
Food before one is just for fun.
Not really, not fully. You know, yes, the baby doesn't have to eat by a certain point, but you know, you want to start to introduce them to solids when they have the readiness for it. So when they're showing signs of readiness for food, you do actually want to start. It's not black and white.
It's not just for nutrition. It's for development.
Exactly, it's for development. They start playing with it. Obviously, the majority of their nutrition is coming from the breast milk. But even with the iron, it only lasts for a certain amount of time, with the understanding that at a certain point they're going to start to eat solid foods and they're going to get it from there. If you're concerned about your baby being anemic or low iron, you can have them tested. You could test their iron stores, and sometimes even low iron without anemia, meaning you're testing iron levels, but they're not anemic, they still may not need extra iron.
What about D? We were talking about D earlier.
Yeah.
Somebody had a question about D.
Yeah. So vitamin D is one of those, it's actually, they call it vitamin D, but it's actually a hormone.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually not a vitamin, it's a hormone. It's something that your body produces rather than something that, it produces it in the presence of sunlight, sun exposure. So when you sit and your body gets sun, your skin produces vitamin D for your body. And that's actually how you get vitamin D. You can't really eat vitamin D.
Yeah.
It's not in your food. It can be fortified in like certain things like milk, which I wouldn't drink anyway, but it's not going to give you, that's a whole other video. But it's definitely not going to be enough vitamin D for what you need to stay healthy. And vitamin D has so many positive, important impacts on your body. Your baby is going to the baby will get vitamin D through the milk as long as your vitamin D levels are at the right point. You need to be testing your vitamin D levels, and some research has shown that if the mom's taking at least 6,000 units of vitamin D a day, there's enough in the breast milk. So it's a high amount. It's way more than what's in a prenatal vitamin. You're not going to get it from your prenatal vitamin unless you're exposing like a large percentage of your body or your skin to sunlight for at least 20 minutes a day. Your vitamin D is probably low. Most people do not get enough sun.
You got to get in that sun.
Either the sun or you're taking supplementation. You're not going to get it from your food. And not only for your baby to get the vitamin D, but for you to be healthy, it is super, super important. Everybody contributes it to just
I will tell you right now, since I moved to Denver,
I
can tell a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because there's so much sun. And it's wonderful. My seasonal depression didn't exist. I feel like I have more energy. I'm still stressed out because of, job. But I am much happier. I'm much happier with sun.
Well, sun and the vitamin D that you get from it. Somebody's saying 6,000. Well, see, that's where most recommendations are so much less. They're just not enough. This whole idea of 400 units a day as the RDA, it's nothing. It is not going to get your levels to where they need to be. And for anyone who's expecting, whoever's pregnant, especially with vitamin D in pregnancy, super important. It can prevent against preterm labor, preeclampsia. There's all kinds of things that it contributes to. So it should be part of the routine screening. For some practitioners, they're actually using it as part of their initial prenatal blood work to check your vitamin D levels and get you on high enough doses to get your level up over 50. The majority of the population is really, really vitamin D deficient, and it leads to long-term issues, cancer, all kinds of things. So it's a hormone. It needs to be checked. It needs to be regulated in your body. You need to be taking the supplementation that you need. And someone's saying they take 2,000. That may be enough to keep your levels up. And if it's not, you need to up it. You need to up it and to get enough of get you at the right level so that your breast milk is actually giving enough to your baby. If your stores are low or if you're not taking any supplementation, then the answer is yes, your baby would need vitamin D supplementation.
So my friend Rochelle has left a question on here that I just saw, and I'm trying to get it in while we're here. She has a baby that's just a couple days old. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Sleepy eater. Falls asleep at the breast. How do you keep that baby awake so that you know that they're eating and everything is going well?
Well, it depends on how old the baby is, but lots of times, babies that are born early are very sleepy. Newborns are very sleepy.
Look who just joined. It's Chris Schifferling.
Hi, Chris. So, yeah, keeping a newborn awake can be challenging. And one of the ways that what you can do during the feeding that does help is breast compression. So what that means is, when I was talking before earlier about holding your breast during the feeding, I don't know if you can actually see, hold your breast during the feeding, holding your baby to the breast, compressing the breast when the baby stops sucking actually will get more milk to flow and the baby starts to swallow. So you can help them along to get those feedings going. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
I'm not yawning, I promise.
I need to talk and I'm tired too. Okay, so
it's been a long month.
Yes, it has. It's all right. It's all right. I almost fell asleep sitting here before. So breast compressions can definitely help to keep the milk flowing and keeping the baby sort of unwrapped. And what you don't want to do is wrap the baby up when you're nursing. You want skin to skin. Keeping the baby up against your skin is going to stimulate them to actually want to nurse and latch. And just remember too that sometimes the feedings go a lot faster than what you think. I don't know, there's some thought the baby has to eat for 20 minutes. And that's not necessarily true. They may eat in short little spurts. They may eat for 5-7 minutes, fall asleep, and then an hour later want to eat again. And that's all really, really normal for a newborn. Their stomachs are small. They can only handle a little bit at a time. And that's why our bodies are meant to feed frequently like that. So, you know, sometimes it is hard, and especially with preemies or babies that are born early, you can have trouble keeping them awake. Best thing you could do is good positioning, breast compression, skin to skin, and frequent feedings.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. It's 10 after, we've been going, I don't care, I'm fine to talk. Somebody asked me what I'm drinking. It's Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA. It's one of my favorite IPA. There we go. So it froze up for a second. And
can I answer that?
Well, I was leading into the pump because we've not even touched that
God,
pump.
yeah, the pump.
So somebody said, is it worth it to pump? We answered this in the last Q&A. Somebody said, is it worth pumping before baby comes or after? No need to pump before you deliver that baby.
Yeah.
No need.
No need.
And speaking of pump, Shari, what about that Evenflo Advanced Double Electric Pump?
I have a pump right here.
Funny how that happens.
Okay, so this is our prize tonight, and it's actually something...
Not this used one.
No, you won't get this one. You'll get a brand new one, okay? But let's talk about pumps for a moment, because... And
4 things you want to look for.
You guys know, anybody who watches what I do all the time, I talk about breast pumps, and
sorry.
you know, it is something that is super important for most of you. You will use a pump at some point during your year or longer with your baby, whether you're exclusively pumping, whether you're going back to work, or just that occasional time. This is the Evenflo Feeding Advanced Double Electric.
She helped develop it.
I helped develop the pump.
And we're gonna do this a little different. I'm gonna call out the features, and then you get to talk about them.
That sounds
That
good.
way, I feel like I'm contributing something worthwhile.
You are always contributing something.
The number one feature you want to look for in a breast pump is a closed system.
Closed system.
Talk about it.
Okay, and when he shouts them out, I want you guys to all go ahead
Heart.
and heart it, and then just type it in. Closed
Number
system.
one.
Number one.
Closed system.
Okay, let's talk about what is a closed system.
We're
All
getting
pumps-
riled up right
Yes.
now, and then
Thank
we're
you.
gonna go eat barbecue. Because if I don't get riled up, I'm gonna fall asleep.
You just helped me to wake up.
Oh,
thank God.
we got it.
All right, thank God. Excellent. All right, so closed system. So all breast pumps come with either an open or a closed system. And what that means is that when you look at this piece here, okay, this is the part that goes up against the breast. Your breast goes here, your nipple goes in the hole, the milk goes down into the bottle, and air is sucking hard in this direction from the motor, okay? That's what's causing the suction on the nipple. When you put this on, there's 2 different ways that this can happen. One is the tubing can just plug right behind the flange here, this part, and that is called an open system. That means that when the milk starts to flow, milk can get sucked inside this tubing, which then can grow bacteria and mold. It gets dirty. It's hard to clean. This thing is really, really small. You're not going to be able to scrub it. And then that milk can actually get sucked all the way back into your pump. So that's like the first question I always ask for when I'm looking at a breast pump is it an open system or is it a closed system? You definitely want a closed system. A closed system means that there's a barrier. And in the case of the Evenflo Feeding, it's this little diaphragm right here. The diaphragm goes right there, and then the tubing clicks on, and it's a vacuum system so that when this turns on, you're going to see this little thing going up and down, up and down. That's what's creating the suction. Nothing can splash into your tubing, so your tubing stays clean. And actually the instructions are never ever wash this because it will get water in it, and you shouldn't have any water or condensation or milk or anything. So if you ever see anything inside your tube with an open system, that's not a good thing.
The backup is real.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I have seen it in person. A lot of pumps get moldy inside the motors.
Absolutely.
And you have no idea. You can't clean it.
Nope.
You do not know as a consumer your pump is full of mold.
Yep.
We don't want that.
That should actually be, and it's good that you said it as number one because it really is like the way to like.
It's a hierarchy.
It's like a hierarchy. Like decide, okay, is it open? Is it closed? If it's open, no.
Yep.
Then look at your closed system pumps. And can I just say too that sometimes pumps, because this is going to lead into something else I want to talk about. Sometimes pumps are, they'll say they're closed, but they're really open. And what I mean by that is there's 2 points of entry. There's the entry from the milk going into the tube, and then there's the tube going into the pump. Some pumps, they'll say they're closed because it's closed off here. And this would be like a multi-user pump, okay? Or the pumps that you rent. Some of them, yes, they are closed here where the pump is protected, but they're open here where the tubing is, so your milk's not protected. And so it's really important to understand the difference between a true closed system, okay, and a closed pump or multi-user pump. And so even though you'll see that and they'll say, oh, it's a closed pump, it's not a closed pump. You want to make sure that there's a barrier here. If there's no barrier here, it's an open system. Okay? So that's the first thing.
So number 2.
Number 2.
You want to look for multiple flange sizes.
Yes.
What are those?
Flanges are so important. This is the part that's actually going up against your breast, okay? So the hole where your nipple goes in, they don't only come in one size, just like breasts don't come in one size, nipples don't come in one size.
My nipples are different size than Shari's.
How would you know?
I'm just taking a guess.
You've never seen.
I'm just guessing.
I would guess the same thing. She's laughing. Yes, we have different sizes, and sometimes one person can have 2 different sizes and need 2 different sizes. You're making me laugh now. Okay, so what Jamie's talking about is multiple flange sizes. Most pumps will come with multiple sizes, but they don't come in the package. And I feel like it's very, very important that the flanges in different sizes come with your pump, because there's no way to measure and tell, what size do I need. So if the flange doesn't fit you properly, it is going to hurt, which is going to stop your milk from flowing. And the other part is it's not going to get your milk out. So it's one of these functionality things that if the flange doesn't fit, you're not going to be able to use your pump well. There are certain pumps out there that only have one size.
Yep.
And you can't even buy another size.
They think it's a one size fits all. And
I don't understand it at all.
Works.
Whoever made those pumps just doesn't understand anything about pumping. Because obviously if you happen to be lucky and it fits you, great. If you don't, you won't be able to use that pump. And so many times moms are like talking about, I can't get enough milk out. Where did they go? First thing is, it's got to be me. It's got to be my problem. I must not be making enough.
There's actually there's a pump company right now. I'm not going to say the name because it's not high roll, but they have a very, very, very viral social media video right now. Their pump only comes with one size flange. That's not how it works.
It's not good. Nope, it's not good. The other thing about the flanges, so there's 3 different sizes included with the pump, so you can try them out. Sometimes you need one size when you first have the baby, and then like a month, 2 months later, you change sizes and you need a different one, and you'll try them out. Also, the Evenflo Feeding flanges are soft silicone. So if you can see that, you can see that it's actually very soft. It creates like an air cushion when you put this on. So any of you guys using this and love it, I know that I have a lot of people who are using the pump and have loved this air cushion here. I think you could see when I press that it creates a little cushion. So the softer that it feels, the more comfort you have, the easier you're gonna have expressing your milk. Pumping should not hurt. If your pump hurts, you're actually not doing it right. Like, it needs to not hurt when you're using it. So the cushion's great. And then also the angle of these flanges. This is not one of the things, but let's talk about it while we're talking.
And the angle is big.
Okay, so look at the angle of this flange. And what you normally see with a pump is that they kind of come straight out. And for any of you guys who are pumping, you know what I'm talking about. It's like when you're pumping and you have to lean forward so that the milk goes down into the bottle, because if you sit straight up, it kind of it backflows onto you, and then it breaks the seal and you're all wet, and you got to like keep wiping off the breast and wiping off the flange and then putting it back on. And so especially if you're using any kind of a hands-free bra, that's really hard because you got to like lean forward. Leaning forward is what keeps it from getting wet. We created the flanges in what we consider sit back, slouch-free flanges, so that you can actually put this up against your breast and sit up straight, and the milk's still going to flow without back flowing onto you. So these are real. It makes you not. It kills your neck and your back when you're leaning forward like that many times during the day. So that's the flanges.
Number 3. Independent speed and suction controls. Now, what exactly are those?
I love this. Okay, what I love about this part is that a couple months ago, when was it? Like, I don't know, January, February, I made a video because it occurred to me that people don't know how to use a pump.
Yeah.
Like, people think you get the pump, you turn it on, and you turn it up as high as you can go until it hurts and you rip the milk out. That's not the way milk is expressed. And so I realized, like, you can actually stimulate your body to let down multiple times, all right? And it's not just one time. When you watch a baby, they're actually stimulating the breast. They instinctively know how to feed from the breast to create multiple letdowns of milk. And you can do that with your breast pump too. But the problem is if you don't have full control over the settings, you're not gonna be able to do that. And so any kind of pump that does it for you, where there's like a button and it just happens for you, or you're not able to control speed and suction separately, you're not gonna be able to stimulate those multiple letdowns, get that customized control over your pump, and kind of do it for you. So somebody's saying, what? Independent? Yeah, independent speed and suction. And I have a video. I don't know if Joe's still on. I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen him.
Anyway,
the first video got so messed up, he probably gave up.
Or the kids needed them. But there's a video right on my Facebook page, and I think Jamie tagged me in this post right here. You go over to my Facebook page. It's actually pinned right to the top of my Facebook page. It's the 3-stage pumping method, and it's super important to watch if you're using a breast pump. If anybody's seen the video, you can...
oh, the pump is on sale at Target right now,
awesome.
Someone just said.
Awesome. Yay.
That's awesome.
So if you want to learn how to use these independent speed and suction controls, you can go over and watch that video. But what you can do is multiple letdowns. And I love when people watch that video and then they send me pictures of the amount of milk that they're able to pump and express.
Joe's back.
Hi, Joe. Okay. Oh, there's
Joe's commenting.
Joe's my husband.
Yeah.
He's commenting as me. He just put the link in there for the pumping video. But that's going to really help you to get more milk, and it really, really does help. Yeah, this is one of the most. What I love is that the conversation has now, everybody kind of understands what you need to do when you're looking for a breast pump, and that how important these controls are to the use of your pump. So I love that.
It's like the conversation needs to be like, how do you actually use it?
It is a machine,
yeah.
and it has controls for a reason, and anything that is going to try to do it for you is not going to work. You need to know how to use it so that, because your body is, who's Joe?
Yeah. Joe's her husband.
Joe's my husband, and he's back in New Jersey, and I'm here in Austin with Jamie. So Joe is always on with us, posting as me. I'm not. So that's what you see. I want to say, can we talk about the hospital strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
There was one more feature.
Then we're going to do number 4.
All right, do number 4 first.
No, let's talk about hospital strength.
So, as we're talking about controls, there's always a question of like, what is hospital strength? Is the pump hospital strength? And I'm going to go ahead and say that the Evenflo Feeding pump is considered hospital strength. They did independent testing on this pump. What that means is that hospital strength is really a marketing term, really, okay? It's not something that's regulated by the FDA. It's not something that we can say these are the parameters of what a hospital strength is. Where this came from is the fact that years and years ago, when we didn't have great pumps, like personal unit pumps like this on the market, the only really strong pumps with independent speed and suction and all these other things were the ones that you would see in the hospital. Okay, so this is the hospital grade pump. That's where this originated from. And that was really just a multi-user pump. It was what I was talking about before, where you have a pump that is heavy duty, it's sitting on a stand, it can be thrown against the wall, it's not going to break, it's used for multiple people when you actually switch out the tubing and all of that. Those are pumps that are meant for more than one user, okay? But as far as like what we have now, this pump is as strong as the ones that you will see in the hospital. This pump, when I say strong, that means that the range of suction and the range of speed and the customization of it is the same. And actually, there's been some third-party testing that we've done on it. It actually outperforms some of the ones that you would consider hospital grade, okay, or hospital strength. So this is a hospital strength pump. you wouldn't want it to suck harder than it does.
Yeah.
Okay, the suction on this is strong. Most people don't even turn it all the way up because stronger suction is not what gets more milk out. You need to be able to control it so that you could stimulate that oxytocin release, stimulate the letdown, the whole hormone response to your body. It's not about turning it up higher, and sometimes turning it all the way up is really gonna hurt. So I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk more about that in the weeks to come, about hospital grade, hospital strength, and what that means, and what you should be looking for as far as millimeters of mercury. If you're really, really interested and you want to get technical about, you know, speed levels, suction levels, we can talk more about that at another time. But in the meantime, just understand that it's really not something regulated. It's about, do they all compare?
It's
Yes,
like
they all
side
compare.
impact testing on car seats in America. There's no standard, there's no regulation. You can kind of make up whatever terminology you want.
How do you know how far you should turn it up? Strong enough to not feel pain. So at the point where you feel pain, go down a little bit.
The pump, depending on if you get this pump with the bag and everything or not, it hovers around $100.
It's amazing. It's amazing. For all that you get, 3 flange sizes, a closed system, independent suction.
And
you get both,
classes.
both of my classes, which are 90 minutes each. These are not like little 10-minute instruction videos. These are full length breastfeeding and pumping classes that I sell for $30 each on my websites. You're getting $60 of education.
$80 on sale at Target this week.
Yeah.
Snatch. Oh, speaking of, there's a 4th feature that this pump has.
Yes.
Batteries.
You need something that's portable, okay? So something that's gonna not only does it have an AC adapter that plugs into the wall, of course you're gonna have that, but this one also takes double A's right into the pump itself. So you just take this little piece off the bottom. I can't do it.
You can't do it backwards. Bless.
Okay, so this comes off, and it takes 6 double A's right into the pump, okay? Make sure you're using good batteries too, because cheap batteries just don't work the same way. You want good brand name batteries. This is your pump, it's important, okay? Get good batteries, but you can put them right into the pump itself. There's no separate battery pack to lug around. It comes right there, and I would just keep the batteries in. When you put batteries into this pump and then you plug it in, it will work off the AC adapter, so it's not going to use up your battery until it actually unplugs. So you can keep them in all the time because you just never know, and it's why we've added it to the list of necessity, because all these features are ones that will help the pump to function better, to help you get your milk out. This is something that you're going to use to express your milk, and if you don't have an outlet, if you're somewhere where you can't plug it in, or you have a power failure,
you go international.
Yeah, there's so many times where when I was pumping, I needed to use my pump and I wasn't near a plug. How many times you're looking to charge your phone and you're not near a charger? I mean, so I walk around with my little battery pack just for my phone, right? We need batteries for the pump. So it really has all the features that you would look for in a breast pump, and it's so affordable.
And one of you is going to win it.
And one of you is going to win it, absolutely.
Which is great.
And the other part too is you can, not only are they on sale at Target, but breast pumps are covered by insurance. And this pump is definitely covered by your insurance. Insurance companies do not dictate which pump you get. Okay, this is a big myth.
No, you have to go
this
through
drives me crazy,
durable medical equipment provider.
Exactly. A DME, that's who's going to provide you with your pump. Your insurance company is going to determine how much they'll reimburse, not which pump you get. Although, if you call them first, they may send you to a DME that only carries a brand that you're not interested in. If you're looking for the Evenflo Feeding pump, you need to make sure that you call one of the national DMEs first to ask them, do you take my insurance and can I get this pump? And there are several. There's Byram, there's Aeroflow, Yummy Mummy in New York, there's Ashland Health. There's several different good DMEs, and maybe Joe can post a few of them up there for us so that you guys can give them a call. It's definitely my recommendation to call them before calling your insurance company, so you don't wind up with a pump on your doorstep that you didn't order, okay? Because that's what's going to happen.
Or sometimes they just send you a single manual. And they think that's all you need to get.
Yep. It has to do with calling your insurance. Somebody just said they got a Medela and they didn't ask for it. Probably because you called, that was the only one that was covered. That's just not true.
Yeah.
That's just not true. There you go. So, call the DME first.
Yeah.
Did Joe just put that up
Yeah,
there? Okay.
Evenflo pump.
Awesome.
All right, we need to go eat. Yep, we've been on for an hour and a half now.
That's
The
good.
second session was totally fine.
That was totally
First one was
great.
kind of bunk. Facebook was misbehaving.
Anybody gonna be in Austin? Anybody gonna be at MommyCon tomorrow? Anybody coming
No.
to our live tomorrow?
Now, we'll be at MommyCon.
We'll be doing this live.
12:30.
We'll be doing this live
12:30
tomorrow.
to 1:30. So thank you all for hanging out. I know, there are better ways to spend a Friday night.
No, there isn't.
I know. But thank you all. We love doing this every month. Love it, love it, love it. Especially when we get to do it together in
It's
person.
the best when we can be together.
Yeah. So make sure you heart this video, share it with your friends, tag your friends, to spread the information and the love and the knowledge. And then make sure you comment, and then I will go pick a winner for this pump.
Yep. And if you want to come listen to more, I do lots of live streams over on my
Yeah,
page.
make
as
sure
well.
you go over to her page.
Go over my page. A lot of you guys I know already are. I recognize all your names here. So it's good to see you guys, and we'll be on Wednesday too. We're doing a postpartum show Wednesday. It's going to be great. Nutrition, all the stuff we just talked about, vitamin D, all that stuff. Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. We're going to be doing a great job at awesome nutritionists coming.
Nice.
On. Yay!
All right. Thank you all.
Good night.
We're gonna go eat some slow cooked pork. Just
more pork.
because Austin.
More pork.
Bye.
Bye.